coming out on Monday. It could be that then the protest camp in front of the Bundestag is gone. We don't know. It could also still be up. I hope that it is. It's been fun. I've been doing a lot of stuff there. Aside from all the good vibes and that, we've been, having so far a good response and all that. There is a tendency that I've noticed about two types of German people that are identical. And it is very funny to me because I thought that I would explain, share my experience with the class. Because I've encountered these types of Germans before, but never in such an intimate setting with the police. All right. So that is the German who thinks that they are going to convince the police to stop doing their job. That they have the magical ability to just like put your guns down and be the
this isn't like you.
Yeah, this isn't like you. Be like the was it Kendall or Kylie Jenner who did the Pepsi commercial?
Kendall.
I was
Jenner,
about to say, I feel like every protest has the
absolutely.
Particularly post 2016,
yes,
when like a bunch of Americans got like radicalized, and it was like they went to their first, I've seen police violence in person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the first type of person that then I would like to address, which is to me the funniest, is the old school left wing crank. I think we all can imagine what they do. The fact that they just like speak German and probably only German makes the confidence a bit higher. My favorite thing is that then I've witnessed two versions of this. One is that then they just go to the cops and just start naming statistics.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
They do the opening scene from Newsroom, the show by what's his name, who did West Wing and stuff.
Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah, Aaron Sorkin's Newsroom.
Yeah.
Where it's like the guy lists all the way which America isn't the number one country.
Exactly.
16th in childcare.
So they start telling statistics about police violence to the police, which is really funny
as
to
if
me.
they don't know.
Right?
Or like, I think your response is always going to be like, "Oh yeah, those other guys. I'm built different though. Like I'm the good cop. Everyone else is shit."
And then proceeds to beat the shit out of this person.
Yeah, but that was different. When I did it, it was different.
Yeah.
Don't put that in the statistics.
Yeah, because the sense is like that's like the funniest to me because they're genuine. Like first off, nothing really like happens to them too much. If it, I mean, to be very fair, the police are they target Arab people. That's very clear at the protest, so they are safe. And they just like get in like these like dumb debates with the cops that then you don't know if they're like really serious, like if they're like heated or not. But then the funniest one to me that then also is like the different type of that then I'm gonna get them to stop doing it is that then like so we had an issue and this one lady who like again old kind of like lefty thinks that then that if you put the like flour in the gun everything's gonna be fine, just like grabs the microphone to the PA and is just like, we are here peacefully, this and that and that, put down your like this like let us go, and then just starts like I had to like stop her because she's just at one point being like, we live in a police state, and I'm like, lady, the cops are like getting aggressive, you don't need to by you saying that we live in a police state is not going to like make them less violent.
Yeah. If anything, it's going to like trigger them.
Exactly.
You say, yeah. Oh, you say we live. Okay, let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
So, I guess that rule passed. It's a police state there, boys.
Bully.
Exactly.
Bully for us.
I feel like white people in general, but specifically Germans, don't realize that the most useful thing that they can do, not specifically in the encampment, I mean in all pro-Palestine protests in Berlin, is I'm sorry, but you gotta put yourself in harm's way because you're not their main target.
Yeah.
And you can, especially if you're German, it's much easier to deal with like the bureaucracy and like because I was talking to this person who works in like I forgot the name of the organization. I'm also like don't want to dox them, but they work in this like European organization that looks at repression of pro-Palestine protests
Mhm.
and Palestinian movement in general in Europe.
A good person.
Yeah, a great person, yes. And they were saying that the police violence, of course, in Germany is insane. But most of the people that get arrested, specifically also the white people, they don't. It doesn't go further
Yeah.
than the actual arrest
Than being
protest.
detained and then nothing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's something that then is kind of the thing too of because I've realized that as well of like also too that then it's like if you're a white person who can speak German, like it's fine to like interactions with the police. You can kind of like I mean I've put on like a vest before and gone and be like okay like what's the situation like what's the sitch, and you kind of like can
Brief me.
yeah like you can kind of like diffuse it in the sense of if the cops are saying one thing and then you're like all right well you know we'll try to see what we can do about that. You know that then it's like gonna be stupid, but you have to be like flexible. Whatever, like, and I whatever. There's been some problems here and there, but what does not help is that then if you come in there and do that, you know, just like the sense of like I'm gonna woke the police, and the second type of person is exactly that, which is the young person who is like clearly in and or out of university. That's like, yo, I've taken a course on decolonialism or anti-colonialism. I got to tell the cops about it, and it is embarrassing to watch. I don't want to like I don't want to be mean, but it's just like those are the only two interactions that bother me the most. It's just like because it comes from the same place of like German privilege and this and that, and it doesn't. I mean, like, and it doesn't really necessarily matter on the gender of the person who is doing it. It is just like it is like a foolish level of arrogance of like I am going to be the one who's gonna change their mind. It's just like just stop it. Also, a cop is not gonna like sit there and give two shits about the like postmodern mumbo jumbo that you're fucking talking about. Like they don't they got one thing on their mind, and it's like when do I get to crack skulls? You know, like
I think like a lot of times with police, it's not even that. It's they're more thinking about
no, for sure.
The shit that they want to do after their shift. Like
oh yeah, they're bored as hell there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're bored, and then the cracking of skulls just seems like the fastest way to end the shift. So it's like, well, it's like, I guess it's time to do this now. I really want to go home and watch German Love Island or something. I don't know.
It's just called Love Island.
Too hot to handle.
They call it Love Island here.
Too hot to handle. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but also, have you seen those videos? I mean, I am sure you have, of the police literally like jumping in place, kind of like warming up to then go beat up some people. Like, what do you mean you're talking post-colonial fucking theory with these people? They're literally jumping up and down, being like, hee hee, it's time to go fucking fuck up some people. And warming up because obviously you have to stretch before.
Yeah. No, exactly. And
you mention Edward Said to any of these people, and they'll respond with, "Oh, I think I might have arrested him."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, not to I'm not trying to like, you know, talk shit on anyone or be mean or whatever, but it is just like, it is a very funny tendency of like something I've witnessed of just, it's like it is a part of the German, and you know, this probably happens in like the US too, you know, but it is just like funnier to me that then it's like in a context of like,
BLM stuff was rife with this.
Yeah. And the thing is too, is I think because a lot of the times the German like whatever postmodern left, if that's even like, I think that is a thing, kind of bases a lot of their like theory and stuff on the US's left kind of trajectory, at least now, where it's like I feel that then that especially like left-wing movements that have a bit more, dare I say, tradition, like, you know, Spain, Ireland, for example, France, Greece, these other countries that then have a much more militant left. This isn't like, they're aware of the fact of like, I'm not going to like, this isn't going to work, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it's this impulse of like being quite individualistic and like, I'm the main character. I'm
Kendall Jenner.
Yeah.
Literally,
rolling up with my fucking cooler of Pepsi. I mean, That's just actually. Do you know what? That's just a good bit.
Fortunately, I believe Pepsi is boycott, so you can.
Oh yeah, that's a good. Okay, fair enough. But like in a better world, that would have been a good bit.
Yeah.
Just rolling up to the protest
with
my
your
cooler
with your Ula Dog or Cola Turca or whatever.
with my protest ending soft
Oh
drink.
no! I've turned the cop into Chevy Chase.
What Turkish? Chevy Chase spelled with the C with the thing under it rather than CH.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think there's this very individualistic, like I'm the main character of reality impulse of like I'm going to go to the protest and save it, rather than most of the time what you're being asked to do at a protest is to show up and show the numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're
keep your fucking mouth shut. if you do like. Unless you're, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to go into the like the individual politics of that, but it really is just like, yeah, you're good. Like I'm happy that then everyone's there, but it's funny. It's really like I'm just like overhearing the conversations and it's like, what are you doing?
It's what Ciarán was saying. Like you're part of a protest. You're not the guy, the main character of this protest. You just need to show up, show the government or whoever, the police, that there's enough numbers and that there's enough people who believe in this, and that's it. And you just go home after.
Yeah.
It's not that,
Yeah. You're not like I hate to break it, like a symbolic camp in front of the Bundestag is not going to, take down Germany as much as we would like it to, but
no, that's Olaf Scholz.
That's Olaf Scholz, exactly.
Comrade Olaf Scholz, Leninist.
Yeah. But anyway, if for those hearing it, the camp is still up. It's very fun. It's a very nice vibe. That was my only qualm of really anything, was just this funny, white Germanness that I observed of like, oh, this is too much for my brain to comprehend. Of the level of confidence that it's not even that I don't have that confidence. I'm just like not stupid. Like I know when, like I know my losing battles when they're that, and that is definitely one of them.
I would actually like the idea of reading decolonialism textbooks from a college course to German police, not as a means of convincing, but just like in the same way that Spice Girls is played to people at like Guantanamo Bay. Like Spice Girls is a great band. But like,
yeah, just like a megaphone reading Orientalism to the cops.
Yeah, like they just hate it as like intimidation tactic.
Exactly.
Literally just like not even saying like the snippets, the highlights, or the statistics from it. Just literally like chapter 1.
With the TikTok voice as well.
You 100%, exactly, yeah, 100%.
Introduction to 3rd edition.
Yeah. Chapter 1.
Oh Lord.
Actually, yeah, just get
Orientalism by Edward Said.
Get the TikTok text to speech voice to do the entire thing. Just literally put a phone in front of a megaphone.
So it has like that weird crackly noise too. That then when like a text message comes in or something.
Yeah. Did it. Oh. And with that, hello, welcome to your weekly corner of Späti. It is me, Ciarán. I'm joined by Uma.
Hello.
And Nick.
Hey.
And we are here talking mostly football, sports
talking
football.
I don't know any fucking accent. I can't, any English accent I cannot do, so I'm not
Go
even
refs. They never win, but they also never lose.
What an evil kind of person you would have to just like support the ref.
Oh god,
well, if I was an up-and-coming referee, and this is like the referee shonen anime, where I'm like climbing the ranks, and there's the aspirational like council of elite referees that I look up to. Yeah, I need the referee anime.
Being a ref would be sick too, also, because you get to like.
Oh yeah.
First off, they get paid really well, it depends, I guess, what it is, but yeah, they get paid pretty well. You get to,
I get to keep somewhat fit, but I don't have to train as much as the actual
for football,
players.
they have to run like 3 to 8 kilometers during a game or some shit. It's wild. And you gotta play kind of the game if you without touching the ball ever.
I get to,
which is
play with
perfect
some
for me
cards.
because I suck at football. So
I get to play cards, and that's what I know. I'd be like, I play yellow card in defense mode.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get into that kind of like as our main topic, it seems, I do want to just first piece of news, which is just an update on the Italy-Albania deal. It has been shot down by a court again. So, yeah, this is proving to be actually something that seems to be a consistent attack by the opposition towards Giorgia Meloni of just like, this was stupid. Everyone who looked into the legality of this for 5 seconds knew it was stupid and wouldn't work, and you've wasted all this money on it.
Yeah.
And she seems so pissed. Absolutely so pissed.
Good. Did you see, sorry to interrupt, did you see the tweet of Elon Musk censoring? Well, this, what you were saying came out, right? Probably some fucking right-wing pundit on Twitter, American right-wing, posted about it. And then Musk replied saying, these judges need to go, about the judges that canceled or blocked this.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously people in Italy were quite pissed off. Opposition was like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of Italian politics. Who are you? But then Salvini was like, no, he's right. Let him speak. Let him go.
It's like, it's really bad. In the sense of like, there's no way of making this work because this ruling is coming from the ECJ, basically. Like the Roman courts are deferring to ECJ, which is saying that like no country is safe unless all of its territory is safe. This is basically the rule. So a bunch of countries that Italy has marked as safe are just like not considered safe by those standards. A safe country, for example, by the ECJ standards is like Switzerland. But like,
man, they get away with so much. Sorry, like, why does everybody love Switzerland? They're
I think the problem with Switzerland is more like a psychological terror, but not like a physical one.
True.
Like the place is haunted.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this has resulted in like the countries that, and like Rome, Meloni's government tries to like push through a bunch of new definitions of safe countries. So the court has just like, no, that's actually doesn't work. And so the only way for them to get out of this, realistically, is to leave the European Union. And Meloni does not want to do that.
Yeah. I don't want to do that.
Nick does it, who's also a huge part of the Italian government.
I mean, maybe I could be if I try hard enough and put my mind to it. At this rate, it seems like anyone can join the government. There's been so many governments in the last few years.
And the current government seems weak on this one issue, so maybe I can attack them on it.
Exactly.
So like, fuck Meloni. She's put herself in a difficult position, and it's hilarious. So
also, a quick thing about this, which made me laugh, was that remember when we talked about the cursed Italian restaurant in Albania that has all these pictures of Meloni?
Yeah.
Right. So we talked about it, and then 2 weeks later, I don't know if it was AP or AFP, made a video about it, and it was so funny that we beat such a massive news organization. Yeah.
That's what's up.
We beat them to reporting, baby. If you want to get your news, come to Corner
Späti. If you want to get your real freak shit, come here.
Oh, it was so
I thought you were going to
funny.
say something devastating, like they closed down because they have there's no business now for
Well,
it.
if the deal
Yeah.
keeps falling apart, then that restaurant's gonna have to
Yeah.
pivot in terms of
Yeah.
theme.
It had good reviews when it came to food, though. So I don't know. Maybe they quietly will take down the pictures of Meloni. You know.
They just
like,
change the pictures into, because the proportions are already there. Just Bart Simpsons everywhere. It's a Bart Simpson themed restaurant randomly in.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
love to go to
Albania.
the Bart Simpson themed restaurant in Albania. Are you
That'd
kidding
be
me?
so cool because it'd be all the bootleg ones.
Yeah, all the bootleg Armenian.
Yeah, you'd have like, for some reason, Albanian Bart is also black, but we don't know why.
Yeah, because there's no racism in Albania.
Exactly. Yeah, an Albanian guy just saw black Bart and was like, "That's cool."
But also, that's me.
Yeah. I mean, like, to be fair, there's something about Balkans, like the Balkans, that they love fades too much. You know,
Yeah.
like, how many Balkan men have you met that have like a perfect lineup fade? Like, it's a bit like they don't know that haircut is not for them, but they go for it.
No, of course not. Yeah, it'd be great. I'd love to do that. Yeah. Well, hopefully that restaurant pulls through in this trying time.
I hope so too. I hope that they hear the episode too and they're like, "Oh wow, I like the idea of Bart Simpson restaurant."
That episode was so chaotic, though, because it was just Karen and I just like 30 seconds of silence because we were laughing too hard at like this random image of Meloni. Anyway, I don't hope they pull through because the guy was evil.
Yeah.
Like connections to, some evil people.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Realistically, it was stupid.
Some mafia shit. But anyway.
No, he was a mafia. You're thinking of the no, he
he was just connected to the actual government, right? Like
his dad was an actor. The guy was so he's a fail son. But no, you're getting confused with the episode that we did pretty recently after that, which was about Eddie Rama, who was the prime minister.
Oh,
and he's connected to the mafia.
He is, yeah. True.
Don't worry.
Oh, well.
Oh, you thought this small independent restaurateur was connected to the mafia? No, don't worry. It's just the prime minister.
Anyway.
It's actually woke to go to this restaurant. It's fine.
Support small businesses.
Jesus Christ.
I'm looking at
anyway.
images of Albanian Bart. And there's just one that I saw that just says Albanian Bart, don't steal. And it's just an image of just Bart with a t-shirt.
Sure.
Very poorly photoshopped. It just the Albanian flag as a t-shirt. And then his shoes are also the color of the Albanian flag. But the don't steal really sells it.
I really do love the idea of telling like a Serbian nationalist not to have a cow. I think that's kind of what we have to do here. Anyway, sports. Hey, bootleg merchandise that happens in and around sports.
Absolutely.
Always.
Yeah, I love having a legitimate Manchester United t-shirt.
I do love the jester.
Anyway. Yeah, so what's going on here, Nick? I'm gonna say actually no, I'm gonna recuse myself as not knowing anything about football. Other than I know the fact like we're talking about the Israeli teams. And I know that
I'm waiting for you to mess this up already.
Hell yeah.
All right.
I'm just saying.
I feel it like you're like you got it going, but I feel it's like falling apart already. I can take over if you want.
You take over. All I'm saying is all I know.
All right.
All I know is that like every kind of like team and football club outside of like Europe and South America, they're just not relevant. They're only relevant because of the politics of this country being horrible at the moment.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, I mean, is like, all right, so this is two things. Do we want to start with France or do we want to start with Turkey?
I
We
think
can start with France. It
yeah,
happened
go for it.
yesterday.
Okay, yeah. So we can work from the past and go into the future. We can also talk about basketball too, because this is also involved in there. So
Hell yeah.
recently, this last week, this was the national teams playing for the Nations League, which is then the pre-qualifiers for the World Cup. That's like UEFA's planned a whole new system the last 6 years or so for how the teams are selected for doing the qualifications for the World Cup and the Euro Cup. And so this is a qualifying match between France and Israel. And or was it just a friendly? It would have been horrible if it was just a friendly. Wait, I want to double check that, because if I'm not mistaken, I think it was a Nations League game. But nonetheless, France and Israel, the national teams, played each other. And with already like everyone kind of acknowledging the fact that this is a horrible idea, especially France being France and having quite a pretty vocal pro-Palestine movement in it. UEFA, the governing body of football in Europe, went through with it, that this match could go on in Paris. And they brought out spike strips, which have been illegal in the UK since they caused a lot of problems in the 80s with fans rushing the field and plenty of injuries and whatnot. They're illegal in the UK. So rather than UEFA or FIFA, saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this, that maybe, blocking Israel from participating is a good idea, which they've already blocked Russia from participating in any Champions League things. And also, I believe still the Russian national team is banned from certain things because of the Ukraine war. And so what happened was that the Israeli fans, remember, this is the national team. This is not like Maccabi Tel Aviv, like the week before. They were accompanied apparently by Shin Bet, the kind of internal security service of Israel, because they were expecting that then, possibly something similar to Amsterdam was going to happen. And the Israeli fans went ballistic against the French fans, and there's plenty of videos as you can go through and see on Twitter of, in some cases, 10 Israeli fans ganging up on one French fan, and beating the living shit out of them. These are people then also too are connected in a lot of cases to political organizations like Beitar, which is like a right-wing group connected to Likud. And a lot of like the Kahanist movement and whatnot are very much like people who are fans of the national teams for any European country. Typically is a big kind of red flag of the people who are going to go to the games. Like Germany has this problem too of the presence of right wing fans, this and that. Israel's very strongly far more nationalist, of course, than Germany, but. So a lot of the fan groups who came were like members of these right-wing organizations in Israel, posting on it on their social medias that they are like, we're proud Zionists. We're here to defend our honor, this and that and that. A lot of people who were actively in the military. You could see then people who were in the stands beating up French fans were wearing IDF shirts. So very unapologetically.
Like mandatory service, like they all have the T-shirts and they're all kind of wearing them. Like,
I mean, you don't have to keep the T-shirt. I guess
you don't have to. Like, I definitely think it's a type of guy in Israel who keeps the T-shirts for sure, versus someone who doesn't. But
But the main thing as well, what you were saying of like 10 Israeli national team fans versus one France national team fan, whatever. Is the thing that the vibes, like the stadium was so empty because almost no French fan went to go to see the match. So from the start, it was mainly Israelis in the stadium and like around and everything. So it's just insane to me that, they started this violence because they knew that they were more in number as well.
And there can't even be the, like, this time around, there's not even, I mean, I haven't at least seen I've seen one attempt that people were like, oh, they brought it on themselves because, like, the people were carrying Palestinian flags. But again, you know, a cloth should not, be the reason why you become a violent maniac. And it's very kind of clear in the sense of, I've seen very little backlash, unlike in the sense of with Amsterdam, of people kind of frantically going like, oh, you know, the fans were so scared for their lives. Like, these are military men, most of them, or they're like right-wing. I mean, I guess you can't call them Nazis technically, but you know what I mean.
Fanatists.
Yeah, fascists.
Yeah.
So
so forgive my ignorance here because I don't really understand sports, but
neither do we.
If the Israeli fans had a like Shin Bet contingent, were the French fans given like Action Générale de la Sécurité Extérieure?
I don't think
like,
it works
contingent?
that way.
No, is it not worth that?
No.
That seems more sporting, though. To be fair,
this is
that was like a government mandated thing.
Yeah,
well, not mandated, but
like
you know what I mean.
thing...
Like,
step it up, Macron.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where's my French FBI?
It's not. It shouldn't be a thing. It's not a thing. You will never see, like, I don't know, fucking MI6 going with the England team to make sure, like, the England fans to make sure that they're okay. Like, that's just not a thing.
Okay, Ciarán, in Eurovision terms, that's a sport that you understand, right?
I was going to relate this to Eurovision, actually.
Yeah.
No other team, or no other contestant sends their version of Mossad to Eurovision, right?
No.
I mean, maybe like when Russia was competing, maybe they sent someone from like the GRU or the FSB, but realistically, probably not.
Even then, I think the GRU FSB guy in charge of Eurovision was probably just waiting for them back in Moscow. I don't think he like went with them.
Yeah, to like scan them for homosexuality or something like that.
And there was like a briefing before and after.
Yeah, they caught being gay in Europe. They caught being gay and Islam at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, but like getting back to
sports,
the Eurovision comparison.
See, all right, Ciarán, all you have to think about is sports is the lame version, if you will, of Eurovision. If you want to see it that way, if that helps.
I'm starting to get it. Yeah. So, but like seriously, like one of the complaints about last year's Eurovision, which I didn't like this complaint myself because the complaint was that by Israel being here, you jeopardize the rest of us, right? Because Israel, like, participating in an international event might be prone to attack, which endangers everyone who's there not representing Israel, and thus Israel should be kicked out. It's like, I do not think that's why Israel should be kicked out.
Yeah.
Like, so I didn't really like that argument to begin with, although I do agree that it's probably true. Like, that would actually be a consequence, and that seems more likely at these football matches, that, like, it feels like UEFA or FIFA, whoever's in charge of this, should, in a reasonable and rational world, intervene because it's just causing hurt to people, like physical assault to people.
So there have been cases of exactly that, where either that then the sense, because UEFA does this all the time, where they'll ban fans from the stadium. Like, if you're going to allow Israel to compete, which is stupid to begin with, because I think if you're going to boycott, Russia from competing or Russian clubs from competing because of the war in Ukraine, an active genocide going on in Gaza and the West Bank and now Lebanon is surely enough reason to do the exact same. So the double standard there is quite stupid. I agree with you that then I don't think it's just because, Israel's a security threat for the fans. Just don't, like, if you're going to then allow Israel to compete and their fans keep doing this shit and you need to have Israel compete, ban the fans. Manchester City has this happen all the fucking time. CSKA Moscow has had plenty of games where then their fans are not allowed to go, and they're very weird to watch these games because you see like two massive clubs, like there was an example of CSKA Moscow and Bayern Munich playing against each other in Moscow to an empty stadium. And it's really haunting and weird. The thing is that then it does UEFA loses a shit ton of revenue doing that, which is one of the first things.
No one buys tickets.
Yeah.
No one buys merch. Yeah.
But they normally penalize then the clubs themselves, like also financially on top of it to, kind of.
Yeah, I thought I'd heard of this before of like teams getting
Man City
suspended.
gets them all. The team doesn't get suspended. You get then the fans suspended.
Right, okay.
Or you get like every league also has certain ways of dealing with something. So, for example, internally as well with like the Greek league, there was an incident where then the owner of the club, I believe it was PAOK Thessaloniki, just like went onto the field with a gun, like.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a strange strategy,
Why
but I can see the path to victory with that strategy.
Yeah. So
like how you would win.
They ended the league immediately when that happened, and then PAOK was then was penalized with like minus a certain amount of points for the next season.
Okay.
So there are methods internally, like that's
and fans internally are banned constantly. In like UK, like British clubs, you always hear, oh, this fan was banned because they got so drunk that they started beating up someone. So, you're not allowed to get back into a stadium in like 2 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Like this happens all the time. And they definitely should be doing that with Israeli fans. But as well, what you were saying, yes, they would lose money, UEFA would. But at the same time, like, I've never seen such a sad sight in a stadium. Like, maybe because it was a UEFA, like, Nation League's qualifier and it wasn't like a... But I would love to see the vibe and, the ambience in a stadium if it was, like, an actual important match against Israel.
All right. I have the financial solution.
Okay.
I figured it out.
Okay.
As number one sports understander. All right, the matches are allowed go ahead. That sucks, but we can't convince FIFA to not let like Israel play. It's annoying, but if this is the world we're living in, I have the solution. The fans are banned. The French fans are allowed to come along in this example, or whoever the other team is, but to compensate, make up the numbers, we take the pro-Palestinian demo that is always happening outside and just get them to come into the stands, but they have to pay for tickets. Maybe at a reduced rate, but yeah, just let them do the protest in the stands.
As if.
This is how we make the money back.
Ciarán, I love you, but you should not be a financial, what's it called, consultant.
No, I should be the devil. I take it down from the inside. I'm the devil's financial consultant. It's the worst ever.
I'm pretty sure plenty of people would not be would have no problem with you just driving UEFA into the ground financially. Plenty of people who love football hate this organization, so I'd have no problem with it either. But yeah, and I think that then I just to add a little tidbit to this, because France has been like kind of hit with back-to-back things on nights with Israel bullshit. There was also a massive protest that was happening the day before, not connected to football at all, but just simply that then the dates of these two events line up horribly. Is that then the finance minister Smotrich was then at a at a gala the day before for a group called Israel is Forever, which is the most insane name.
Oh my god!
As you can imagine, like a right-wing settler organization, and this and that and that. So France really getting pummeled with unnecessary visits by annoying Israelis the last couple of days.
My t-shirt that says Israel is forever is prompting a lot of questions already answered by my t-shirt. It does seem kind of like no country that's secure in its foundations has to hold that kind of event, right? I mean, I know people regularly say like Italia Viva or whatever, and that basically means the same thing, but like
It's a different
crazy.
connotation. It's a different vibe. It's just like, you know, I see that
Italia
as
Viva
like,
has also been like removed from its original meaning and now just kind of means go Italy.
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
really mean
It's not-
long live Italy.
Yeah, I think having the thing of like having to really double down on the no, Israel is forever is a bit
So-
like is it? Like,
I've acted like that towards the end of a relationship. Yeah.
yeah.
They
You and me, babe, we're forever. Totally. I definitely don't feel the walls falling down around me. No, we're forever. Totally.
France
wonderful.
also deployed 4,000 police people for this match
Oh, yeah.
as well to patrol
Yeah.
the outskirts of the stadium and all of that, which is
And fight the
funny
Shin Bet,
because
right? And fight Shin Bet, right?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
No, but it's just so funny how, you know, it was so, because of what happened in Amsterdam, it was so like, oh my god, there's gonna be pogroms all over Europe with this, and then like also the game itself was 0-0, like no, like so the most boring game that anyone has ever watched.
Oh yeah, like I can
And-
imagine France taking on Israel too. Probably like went with like their like D team. Like it makes no difference for them if they win or lose against Israel. Israel sucks. They're not going to qualify for shit. They only play in UEFA because they're not allowed to play in the Asian or African divisions because no teams will play against them.
Yeah.
And so they're in the grouping of countries that just beat their ass all the time. So actually, you know what? Actually, let Israel stay.
Let them,
Yeah, let
them
Israel
get their
stay
ass
just so
beat.
that then it's like, because
It's a good bit.
if I have to hear all the time about how like, oh, Israeli men, the toughest dudes on earth, this and that, and you can't fucking beat the like triple reserve French team.
Do you know, remember that tweet from like, God, I want to say 2015 that was like, am I the only one who thinks that if we made a team out of the American armed forces, they would dominate the NFL? I was like, congrats, we've done this experiment already. And it doesn't work.
Oh yeah,
We got a bunch of people from the Israeli military. Like, I mean, I guess after... does being on the Israeli football team exempt you from service? I wonder.
The Army and Navy have college football teams and they fucking suck.
Oh, the tweet was stupid. I know
No,
this.
no. But it's just like this. I get that then it's like, because it is kind of funny in the sense that then that like, you know, total fucking Call of Duty brain thinks that then that, you know, operators are the greatest athletes on earth, and it's like, no, they just aren't. Like, you know, depending on what the sport is, it's different. But yeah, no, Army and Navy, the only game that ever matters in their you know seasons is when they play each other, because they fucking suck in their divisions anyway in college football, that they like end up, they're like the middle of the road, you know, like they play like as well as like Harvard does, like a bunch of fucking nerds.
I just
Oh.
speaking of this, I just remembered. Do you know Law and Order SVU?
Of course,
of it.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, yeah. They have a, like, I don't know, a baseball team or whatever they do, you know, the typical department thing.
Mhm.
And their baseball t-shirt it just says sex crimes. Which is like such a good fitting for the fucking Israeli team.
That-
Yeah,
oh, no.
yeah. I play for the Tel Aviv pedophiles.
Yeah, the sex crimes jersey does seem like a bit I would have come up with, or like
It's insane because it's like, you know, it's a serious thing
Yeah.
in the show. It's just like who approved this? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that it does kind of seem like Ciarán as a bit coming up with what the like you know, Andorran national football team jersey wears, and it's just like Andorra national football team sponsored by tax dodgers.
Exactly.
Yeah, sponsored by McKinsey
Tax
and Co.
evasion.
just tax evade, money crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like the funniest one is that then all the Saudi teams in their league is just sponsored by Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it's
So they just like
it's just
every
Saudi Arabia on both.
every team just has like the national fund of Saudi Arabia as their thing, which is the same thing. All those teams are literally just money laundering because Saudi Arabia has been investing so much like that's why they spend like 700 billion or million on Ronaldo, because he is simply an asset for them to put money into that is not oil, because they have to diversify the economy.
Yeah.
I do think we need to institute rules of like who's allowed to sponsor various, like, especially national teams, because like I feel like it should be culturally fitting. For example, the current sponsor of the Irish football team is Sky TV, the Rupert Murdoch fucking British TV channel. That's not culturally. It should be Kerrygold. It should it should be.
But they don't have.
Or
I mean,
Guinness.
national teams don't even have their sponsors on their jerseys anyway. So I mean, maybe you have to first initiate that, and then
I've seen the green jersey with the sky written on it.
That's the training jerseys.
Yeah. But I even don't like that.
Germany's is Germany's is
No
Mercedes
sponsor.
Benz, which like fits perfectly.
That's That's
Yeah.
perfect. Or like that team that's sponsored by the Rheinmetall. That's also.
Oh yeah, you're talking about league stuff. Yeah, no, Dortmund isn't their. It isn't their kit sponsor though. It's just a major like one of their.
It should be their kit sponsor.
It should be their kit sponsor. It is. It is. You know, they are like an important employer in the Ruhrgebiet. That's definitely true.
Unless it's like.
Union Berlin sponsor is just the city of Berlin, which is very cute.
That's nice.
Aww.
Good for them. Is there a team sponsored by? Are there two different clubs in Germany sponsored by the two different types of netto? And do they play against each other?
Yeah.
The one with the dog basket, and then the like.
One's the dog basket. The other one's just the red
There
letters.
has to be teams in like the third or fourth league sponsored by, because I mean, like you don't want Netto on a jersey. Like it just it takes away from the swag. I mean, I know that you do, but
I do.
Yeah.
I want this. I think the ultimate German football experience would be the supermarket league. All teams sponsored by
FC
the various
Köln. Yeah, FC Köln sponsored by Rewe, which is the perfect.
That makes sense. They're a huge employer there.
Yeah, exactly. Germany does. I really do appreciate that Germany does have exactly what you were talking about on their local level is beautiful, because it's like there are some where it's like, okay, fine, you missed the mark. Like Bayern Munich's club sponsor should be BMW or something like that, or just like a beer company, but that's illegal now, so you can't do that. But now it's like it's Telecom, which is out of Bonn, doesn't, I mean, whatever. But like you had for a while, like the club in Regensburg, who's in the second or third league, depending on how good they are that season. They one time used to be like just sponsored by the local mustard company, Händelmeier Senf,
That rules.
which rips.
That rules.
Yeah, Germany
The
really
jersey
does
better have
have
been yellow.
I don't think so. I think it was red and white.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's
I'm a big fan of seeing the silly sponsors in Germany for that. Oh, Hoffenheim sponsors SAP.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so Ciarán, Germany has listened to you, and you didn't even know it. Other
I'm still
countries
a little
not
bit spiritually
so much.
German.
The funny one too is that like every club in Greece is just sponsored by like the state-run gambling company.
That rules.
Yeah.
I like that. So before we end this episode,
more sports.
More sports, yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry for the Corner Späti listener who's like, I'm expecting theory, I'm expecting praxis. I am sick and tired of you talking about sports ball.
Those listeners left a long time ago.
Yeah. But one last thing about this. Sorry, listeners who hate sports. But because of what happened last week in Amsterdam with Maccabi Tel Aviv, they were supposed to next week. No, in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's like the end
on
of
the
the month.
28th.
Yeah,
on the 28th, they were supposed to play against this Turkish team called Besiktas in Istanbul, because Besiktas is from Istanbul. However, the Turkish government got involved and was like, please don't. We don't want that to happen here because all hell will break loose. So UEFA came up with the amazing idea of choosing Hungary out of all the countries in Europe. Hungary,
a very neutral location.
Yeah,
by neutral
but
he means loves Israel.
yeah, exactly. In Debrecen, which is like 2 hours away from Budapest as well. Not even in Budapest. They were just like, just put them all in there. But also, it's behind closed doors. So what they should have done, what France should have done with this game, they're doing it in Hungary with Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Yeah. So the reason behind this is because Beşiktaş has the most violent fans in Turkey by a long shot. Çarşı is what they're called. They're the fan group. Their politics are a little bit all over the place. They are kind of ish like left wing, I'd say, but they helped significantly with the Taksim Square protests, with like helping, like they're very organized and they're very violent and they fight the cops all the time. They fight each other all the time. And they were actually really vital for the I know Taksim Square was Egypt. What's the one in
Benghazi Park?
No, Benghazi Park is
No, wait, that's I'm thinking of something else.
Anyway, in the Turkish protests, the anti-Erdogan protests,
Gezi Park.
Gezi Park, yes,
Gezi
exactly.
Park.
Thank you. They were very instrumental with like teaching activists how to do tactics to avoid the police and stuff like that. They're super like they're pretty sick actually. But I mean, in like Israeli Maccabi Tel Aviv fans were gonna die if they went there.
Yeah.
Like just straight up. There is no question about that. So it was hilarious that they like still let this matchup even happen as well too, because of it's not to say like Chelsea aren't like, they're not like pro Erdogan or pro government or anything of that sort, but they are like very like kind of diversely left wing. So you can imagine them quite pro Palestinian in that regard. And would have just like made an absolute mess of that. And like, you know, again at the same day, it's like if UEFA wants to be stupid with this shit, they know what they're gonna get into. Like that, then finally after this incident happening once, it's like you should have just done this from the beginning. Like you could have seen the writing on the walls that this was gonna go horribly. Also, why in your right mind would you allow an Israeli team and a Turkish team play?
To play against each other,
It's like, I don't know, let Israel only face German clubs. That's it. They're safe there, you know?
I like the idea of like, I'm now thinking the actual correct practice in all of this, if I were like a footballer, would be to let Maccabi keep winning or let Israel keep winning. Because I guess like UEFA wants this to the certain point of like these teams getting knocked out in some capacity so that the rest of the matches can go on as normal. But if they keep going up and up and up, and then you keep having to do like stupid matches in like a city in Belarus you haven't heard of, where no fans are allowed to end, and like you're not allowed to load the location, then you're just gonna bleed hemorrhage money.
You have to like be in the cool group to get the like secret text from UEFA that you know where the match is even that night. 2 hours before it starts, we'll send out the location.
And all those people would still be like, "Nah, I'm gonna give it a miss." Actually, fucking Maccabi Tel Aviv against I don't know.
So it's really, it really is just like, I mean, I hate to break it to you, Ciarán. Maccabi Tel Aviv really sucks, even in the Europa League, which is the division below the Champions League. So they're not champions. They're not anywhere close to being there.
I know, but we could destroy FIFA. We could destroy UEFA this way.
I don't I don't want to destroy UEFA this way. It doesn't seem like the
it's not sporting.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's fair. All right. Well, that's it for me and my harebrained schemes to fix football, something that is deeply popular the world over and obviously needs fixing by me, someone who doesn't really get it.
I mean, like, to be fair, you could be like because there is this like neoliberal obsession with like, oh well, if we just crunch the numbers we can make the best team. Those people are just nerds. Do you think that they like, I mean, you can be like the Jonah Hill in Moneyball, who's just like, oh well, stats baby, spreadsheets, and that's ruined. Like, I mean, my personal opinion, subjectively speaking, nerds have ruined sports for that reason. But nonetheless, there are people who exist like you who pretty much run sports.
Oh yeah, interesting. I could be
Or I
like
guess
an
more
inside
like
man.
Ezra Klein's. You're too cool for the charts and the data bullshit.
It would be very funny if one of those guys just actually towards the end of their life realized exactly what they were doing. It was like, yeah, I actually intentionally ruined the sport.
Oh,
Peace
easily
out.
you could, yeah.
All right. Anything to shout out?
No. I mean, like I said, if it's even still there on Monday, this is a big maybe. I'll be hanging out at the camp most days, helping out with that organizing stuff in front of the Bundestag. If it's still there, come by. If not, it was cool while it lasted. Get involved with however you can with the Palestine stuff. You know, I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You're smart enough to figure out how stuff works in your neck of the woods. But yeah, so if it's there, come by. If you're in Berlin, there's some dude who was even from who got off the train and just headed over, saw that we were there, and he's from Montana, and
The
That
train
is
from
so
Montana.
random.
no, he was visiting his buddy in he was visiting his buddy in Copenhagen, and then came down to Germany, to Berlin, just to
Nice.
see it. Got off the train and was like, "Oh, I saw this pro-Palestine sick." So, and he stayed the night there. There's people are camping there and whatnot. It's if you want to come and do that, you're more than welcome to. But again, like I said, if it's still there on Monday or whenever this episode comes out, I hope so. Yeah, come by. It's
Cool.
Thumbs up from me.
Thumbs up from all around. All right. We will catch you on the bonus feed. Ciao, ciao.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.